Welcome to the Peapod. And just like the peas in a peapod, each human is here to have experiences that will contribute to the growth of all. Here at the Peapod, we will examine some of these experiences and glean the lessons learned, the truth uncovered, and come to a deeper understanding through our sharing. So grab your popcorn, get comfortable, maybe even a paper and pen, and get ready for an amazing time with your hostess, Terry Angel, a woman on a mission to bring change, especially in the arena of peace, into our world. And here she is.
Thank you, and welcome everyone. Welcome to the Peapod. You know, it may sound strange that it's called the Peapod, but the angels shared that with me one day, that we're all like peas in a peapod. We're all like-minded. We're all fed by the same source, and we're just a family that loves, and we share that love with each other. So this gathering of the peas is in a safe container. It's an incubator for love, allowing each unique person to speak, expressing with love, and sharing hope into our world. Our topic today is teaching children about spirituality, or is it the other way around? We have a quote from Jess Lair. Children are not things to be molded, but are people to be unfolded. Love that one. And Wes Stafford says, every child you encounter is a divine appointment. I am so honored to have with me two very beautiful friends, Kathleen Caputo. Many of you know her as Mama Hado Bear, is here and will be sharing some very insightful things about working with children. And Miss Kindness, Karen Palmer, is here, and Karen has done so much with bringing spirituality into the children's wheelhouse, letting them know that they can figure out how to be mindful as they work with each other and work with adults and just being in the world in a very beautiful way. So I am so happy to have both of you here. Welcome, and everyone.
Thank you.
With us.
Thank you so much. I'm honored to be here.
Oh, what a delight to see the two of you on here. Two special people in my life.
And you are too.
Oh,
that's for sure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's quite the journey, you know, and it seems like the angels just keep saying, okay, now you're going to do this, and then you're going to do this. So at the beginning of the year, they told me to start this podcast, and it has been such a delight. I was talking to Kathy about it before the show. I just can't believe how much joy I get from it and how much I've learned from the people that have been on with me. And I'm ready for that today. I'm ready to learn about what you two are doing in this field of working with children. So who would like to start sharing? And what do you want us to know that's important for everyone to know about dealing with children and working with them on their level?
Karen, would you like me to start?
Oh, that'd be great. You go right ahead.
Okay. Well, first of all, thank you so much again for inviting us. I always love being with you, Terry, and Karen. I'm so glad I'm with you today. We have so much in common that way. Yeah, I'm a interfaith minister and a religious science minister, and I grew up Catholic, and I loved being in church, even though my parents didn't go. I had aunts and uncles that brought me, and I just loved it. And it's I guess it's no coincidence that I became a minister. But I became a minister in a church that is ecumenical, that every person that came there was either Jewish or Christian or many different religions. And what we teach is that we already have everything inside of us. We basically teach consciousness, and that goes along with every religion. It goes along with every custom. And when I heard about it, I was just totally drawn to it. And I found that as I learned more about that, my life started to change. It became much, much better. I didn't have as much fear. I wasn't as shy as I used to be. Everything just changed in my life. And I still had challenges, like I still do, and we all do. But I got tools to work through them. And I decided one day, I actually heard, I was working and I heard, okay, it's time you become a minister now. And I was learning about this teaching from somebody else. And I went to a church near me and I started classes. And I said to the minister, I noticed they didn't have anything there for children. Can I start a junior church? And she said, that would be wonderful. So we had children from 7 to 12, and they were amazing. And they're all grown now. This was started in 2002. Their lives are so different. They grew up not being afraid. They grew up knowing that they already had everything inside of them that God put there, and that all they have to do is accept it and allow it in their life. And the stories that they would come every week were just amazing. One little girl, and this is about a thing, but it's not only things, it's other experiences that you want in your life. Mother came over to me one day and she said, whatever her name was, Lisa's out in the hall and she's very shy, but she wants to tell you something. And she evidently wanted a cell phone, but the parents told her, we don't have the money to get you a cell phone. So we always taught the children to imagine you already have it. Start seeing that every day in your mind, that you already have that cell phone. Well, what happened was she won 3 cell phones. And she was just overjoyed. And she learned that, yes, we have the ability to attract what we want, what we need. It's already there. And some of the children more of them would come in and say, you know, I needed something for school and I got this because I had the faith that it's already there for me. And so it changed my life, but it also changed a lot of children's lives too. And I studied with a man by the name of Dr. Masaru Emoto. And he was Japanese, and he believed that our thoughts and our words became our reality, that it's reflected back to us. Very much what I taught the children. And to make a very long story short, I met him and I ended up studying with him. And he talked about how our energy is called Hado in Japanese. And so I wrote a book called Hado Bear's Secret that teaches children about this, that everyone is different, but we're all perfect just the way we are, that our thoughts, our words, and our beliefs are reflected back to us in our life experience, and always be kind. And Karen is known as that person who is always so kind. And so that's what we want to get across to children, that what you give out, you get back. And it's what we've learned, most people have learned in religion, right? We've heard that so many times, but maybe we didn't totally understand it. And the more we can get children at a young age and teach them about this, and teach them that, yes, you can do anything, that God supports you in everything that you do that's positive, and that by being positive, you can turn around an experience that might not be going so well, because it's all inside of you now. And so I love doing this. We have a nonprofit that helps children in hospitals that are ill, and we give them a book of the bear, and we support them and give them meditations that they can do to see themselves as already well. And it's a beautiful way to to live, to be able to know that we can bring children from a very, very young age and see that their lives blossom.
Ah, so beautiful, Kathleen.
Thank you.
Well, you know, this is interesting. It's interesting how Kathleen spoke about how all the messages are about kindness and how we can be kind. I think of kindness as another label for God. I believe that we have an opportunity to be kind, and that kindness is innate. It's innate. It's we're born with it, and we are experiencing it as our soul, and we get to share it. It's an opportunity to share it. And so I really believe, and what Kathleen was talking about also, is the golden rule. The golden rule is that we treat people and the earth the way that, and ourselves the way that we want to be treated. And I've been involved with the Golden Rule Day, which is on April 5th, which is a wonderful celebration of all different nationalities, religions. You know, everyone is welcome. It's just the most beautiful experience. But for me, I've been going into the schools for 22 years now. I started going in when my daughter was in kindergarten. I have a nonprofit organization called Eco Angel Enterprises, and it's dedicated to bringing in the education, environmental education, animal advocacy, kindness, compassion, and peace education. So I design musical coloring books and write songs. I'm kind of like a Weird Al Yankovic of kindness and compassion. And I take upbeat songs that, as a matter of fact, the Golden Rule song is I turned into a tapping song. So it's a EFT, emotional freedom technique song, and it's a wonderful way. I encourage children when they come back to school and they're starting back to school and they're meeting new people and they're getting a new classroom and they're getting a new teacher, that feels a little, you know, it can be a little scary for kids. And so I want them to be able to navigate their emotions and to be able to navigate their words so that they can really express themselves and feel safe expressing themselves. So we do a little tapping on the side of the hand. So we have a couple of things that we do when we tap on the side of the hand. As I would say, even though I'm a little nervous about the kids that I'm going to be meeting in my classroom, I know that I'm a wonderful person and I'm looking forward to seeing who I get to meet. Even though I feel a little bit nervous about what's going to happen in the school year, I remember the Golden Rule, and I know that everything I do comes back to me. And I will be looking for ways that I can be kind and generous. And then I will see other people who are kind and generous. Even though I'm a little bit scared, I don't know who my teacher is going to be, I know that inside I have everything I need. And it's going to be fun to see these new people. So the song is, the message is the same, though the words we speak may differ. The message is the same. Take a walk in another's shoes. See yourself in different faces. Just imagine trading places. The golden rule's the same the whole world through. And then the tapping is, treat other people the way you want to feel. Treat other people like your friends. Make 'em smile and laugh, and you'll be smiling too when you follow the good old golden rule. So
Beautiful.
that's a
That's adorable.
I love that.
so I would love to see Hado Bear doing some stuff like that, you know? Some of these songs that I've written, I would love to have opportunity for Hado Bear to share about these things because I really love, I have my Hado Bear. I actually sleep with my Hado Bear. I gave my book to my niece and nephew, and I got them their own copies of to have to understand. And I really feel that Hado Bear has an incredible energy that is very uplifting and helpful. And I think that it could be really, really wonderful to collaborate and to bring some of the music that I've been doing with the children. I have so many little songs that Hado Bear would be the perfect way for them to enjoy that together. So I guess I would say that, spirituality for children to me is about just helping them to see and know their original, innocent, true self and to be that and to feel comfortable seeing kindness as a superpower, to see
Yeah,
kindness and
right.
empathy as a gift.
Mhm.
And I think that for teaching all the years that I've been teaching and all the years that I've seen the children, I've watched them, all of them, just em- embody kindness. And especially a lot of the kids that I've been working with recently, second and third graders, are really, really just so open and
They are.
wanting to see a different world
Mhm.
and knowing that that's possible and not taking no for an answer. They're really, really, really smart, and they're very intuitive, and they're very trusting of spirit. And I really think that we have an incredible group of kids that are coming up, and when they are adults, it's going to be amazing to see what kind of solutions, the soul
Oh,
of our heart and soul, these beautiful, beautiful beings. I've been so incredibly grateful to be able to work with these beautiful teachers and the students, and now the school systems, the entire school systems are open to this.
Mhm. Yeah,
And
they
so
are.
it's really been an amazing journey, because when I started my nonprofit organization back in, I don't know, it was back in 2000 almost. Um, we we s- we struggled with getting time to be able to share this in the schools, but it was the kids who kept asking, when is she coming back, when can she come back? And then that's how it worked. It really, because that's where it starts, is the kids start to learn about environmental education. They learn about animal advocacy, and they realize that they have a power, that they can talk to their parents, and they can talk to their teachers, and what they are suggesting is they open up, and then they get that, they get, like what Kathleen was saying, they get what they're looking for. They know that they deserve it, and they know that there's a way that they can see a world. They know the kind of world they want to see.
Yeah. Well, what I find with children too, and even for myself, is even if you tell them, well, there's a way of moving through this without giving them the tool to move through it. You know, it's wonderful saying, oh, you know, you can do this, you can get through it, but how do I do that? And I think that's what you're doing, Karen, and I think that's what I'm doing, is giving them the tools to know that, okay, this is what I can do. At least they have something concrete. Like in the back of my book, it's very, as you were doing the tapping, I loved it, because in the back of my book, I have turnaround exercise, and it was basically what you're doing. And it had 10 negative statements. And then the child picks out the positive statement to turn that around. And it gives them that tool that, okay, you don't have to stay in this. If you're going through something, you can take it and turn that around into something positive. And I basically took that from Louise Hay in her book, You Can Heal Your Life. That's what she has you do. Write a whole lot of negative statements. And well, how are you going to turn that around? And I never knew that when I was a child. I stayed in the problem, you know, and looked around, you know, how am I going to do this? Or go to my parents. And back then, sometimes the parents didn't really even know how to tell you to do something. So what you're doing, and the other thing is, it's so funny. I was just talking to someone the other day about wanting to write a theme song for Hado Bear, because I have a channel now that I'm doing more videos. I want to put them up there. And then before, like Terry has something in the beginning, I'd like Hado Bear to be singing and doing his theme song for the kids. So maybe we could work on that. That would be a lot of fun. That would be real fun to do that. And Hado Bear loves to sing anyway.
Yeah, that would be so awesome. You know, the angels always bring people together that need to be together. And I know there's no accident or coincidence that you're both here.
I went to physical therapy this morning, and as I was leaving, there was a woman there with a little boy. He was probably about 4, and he was on the floor, and he was banging on the floor. He was having this horrible tantrum. And I have a lot of videos of Hado Bear talking in my phone. And if I see something like that, I'll usually go over to the mother and I say, can I show your child a talking bear? And they always say, yeah. And the child usually loves it. And they usually take the phone from me and they play it. They know how to play it over and over again. And they play it, and it stops that, it cuts that energy. And to be able to do that for kids is just amazing. To be able to do it for ourselves, you know, that's the other thing, is to be an example. I remember a few times when I was teaching at the church, evidently I must have said something that was negative, and right away the kids called me on it. Kathy, you're not supposed to say that. I said, you know, you're right. And I have friends, thank goodness, I have a lot of friends that have followed me in this, and we're kind of our word police. And when we hear someone say something negative, we very gently and very lovingly bring the attention to that so that we can turn it around. So I teach children to do that too, is to help each other, you know, listen to what each other is saying and help everyone to be more positive. The kids that are the children that are ill, that I contact with the nonprofit Source of Guidance, I call them my superheroes. And Hado Bear sends them a video, and he's dressed in a superhero outfit, and he tells them what superheroes do. And number 1 is to always be kind to everybody. And number 2 is to always keep your thoughts and your words as positive as you can. And number 3 is, if you're having a difficult day, start to think about something positive. Start to think about something that you like to do, or imagine yourself doing something that you like to do. Or if you're not feeling well, you can close your eyes and just see yourself as getting well. Just bringing them to that point where they realize that even if they're in the hospital, they can help the doctors and the nurses help them. because it all works together. It's all one. Many years ago, I read a book by Dr. Bernie Siegel, and that's what he did with children. He would work with them to see themselves as getting well, and he would have them draw their illness. And just looking at the drawings, he could tell what was in their mind and was able to talk to them about it and get them to talk about it. And so that's what I love to do, is go to the hospitals also. I have a program for the schools. It's called the Superpower of Your Thoughts program. And I did it for 800 kids at my former grammar school when I first read the book. And it was very interesting because I had someone working for me to get me into the schools. And she came and she said, well, I have a school that has a bear day. Be excited about reading day. And she said, you got to have Hado Bear. It turned out to be my grammar school.
Oh, cool.
It was just amazing to go back there.
Wow.
And do that for 800 kids. It was just so, Karen, you're doing it all the time. You're just amazing to do that.
Oh, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. I think, everything that you've said is so important. Exactly what you're saying is what we're all trying to do too. Our word is our wand, our magic wand. And I have been saying that for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to be really careful about what your words are, because weight is, Terry loves when I go into my acronyms, but weight is, what am I thinking? And, do I want more of that? Because if I want more of that, I'm going to think more about it, because what I think about, I bring about. And if you don't want more of that, and you don't want to keep seeing those, especially when children are unhealthy and they're having ailments, we want to focus all of our attention on helping them, and not only helping them, but for ourselves, seeing them as perfect health, and seeing them as, beyond the appearances, beyond what we're actually seeing. And that helps to uplift their spirit, their soul. That helps them to, because what we can do is, for no matter what, even the animals that I work with, all the animals that I work with, we have an ability to, and a responsibility, an ability to respond with love. And when we respond with love, the animals, the children, the teachers, everyone is, you get that feedback. It's like a feedback loop. So if we respond with going into the sickness and the fear and the doubts and the insecurities of what a child, of course we want to help them to be able to, like you said, to have the tools to be able to feel safe enough so that they can share what's going on, but also to, like you said, turn it around. How do we turn that around? I love that.
Oh, thank you. Well, it's with animals, and we learn so much from them. And many years ago, I learned therapeutic touch. It's a little bit like Reiki. And I went to a woman's house, and she was sitting in the chair, and she had a little dog named Diane. I'll never forget little Diane. And what I do is I bring the energy, I'll go over someone's body and figure out what the energy is like, and then go down to the feet and ground the person by putting my hands on their feet. And animals always come, they want to sit underneath the chair. They feel the energy. Yeah. So she kept getting in the way, and I picked her up. She was little, put her on the couch, and I said, Diane, you're going to stay there now. And she just looked at me. And now I've got my hands on the woman's feet. Diane got off the couch, came down, put one paw on top of my one hand and one paw on top of my other, like she was helping me ground her mom. It's just, I get chills when I even talk about things like this. And kids are so open to all of that. And that's something else that I'm trying to help children to understand, especially the children that are coming in now. Like you said, they're very intuitive. They do not learn the way we've learned. And to be able to let them know that if they know something that years ago I knew when things were going to happen, and I couldn't tell anybody what years ago. And there are children that have told me, I've known this, but I don't know that I could tell my parents. And I want them to know that it's all okay. There's only one mind, and we're all included in that mind. So what the mind of God knows, we know also. Animals know it. How many times do they tell someone you're going to have a seizure or something like that? We have the ability to do that too, but we've been told, no, you don't.
Yeah.
And that's going to have to change too for children. I think that's coming up too.
Yeah, thank you for that, because I know animals are just natural healers. Every animal that I've ever been with in my life has helped me to heal.
Yes.
And I know that's what they do. So I love this conversation. I love listening to what you two are doing, and you're making such an impact and such a difference. What's been your biggest challenge in doing what you do, in working with these kids?
I think for me, it was, and I started to be a nurse, and I think I've mentioned this before, and I was too sensitive. And I've learned now to get past that. But I think seeing these children that go through so much more than most adults have gone through in their whole lives, and see that they have these smiles on their faces. And that's been a little tough for me. I went to a couple of hospitals with Hado Bear, baby Hado Bear, and we used to actually have the kids stuff the bear. And the children would come into the recreation room, and they would do that. And then there were some kids that weren't well enough to do that, and the parents would come in, and they would stuff the bear for their child, and I would write the book for them, sign the book. But seeing them and what they went through, I think was even tougher for me to see the parent, being really, they had to be tough for their child. And at the same time, turn it around for themselves to be able to handle everything. So I think that's been the toughest thing for me, but I know that that's what I'm here to do.
Yeah, I would say the challenge for me has been having the time in the schools to be able to use the tools that we have to offer the tools. So a lot of the things that I had to do was work with teachers to create curriculum that is along with the standards and so what I did, a lot of the challenges for me were to getting into the schools, to also to see the value in what I was doing. And my challenge there was actually valuing myself and seeing how actually valuable this information is. And being able to really, really see what I bring to the table helped me to bring those challenges and really address with top people, in some of the people in, the school boards and the PTAs. And I went and said, these things are necessary for our kids. And I needed to be a voice for these voiceless children that weren't getting their voices heard. And so I think that that's one of the biggest challenges that I've faced. And I feel like those have been conquered because now the schools are very open And there's actual programs. I have been teaching social emotional learning way before they were even calling it social emotional learning.
Mhm.
And so now they have social emotional learning counselors.
Wow.
And, you know, I'm just, honestly, I am just so incredibly grateful that I've been able to see all of these things in my life experience. You know, when I started, we started out at my daughter's kindergarten class, and I was the recycle lady. I was teaching about recycling, and I had to go to every city council meeting to get recycling into our city, into our schools, into, you know, and nobody was listening on the city council meetings. But then when I asked the kids and their families to come and sit in the, you know, in the audience and come up and say a couple words, boy, did they listen then. And that's what and we had organic gardens grow. I mean, it's just been incredible. But
Amazing.
it's a challenge to be able to be a voice for some of these voiceless situations. So that's the challenge, I think. But I think that as a society, we're overcoming those challenges,
Mhm.
and more you can see that schools are much more open. After school programs are so abundant now, and there's all kinds of kindness clubs and you know, ways for kids to do acts of kindness. And there's just so much that has expanded in the 20 years that I've watched
Mhm.
this just evolve and expand. And I just want to say, like, honestly, I just want to acknowledge and be grateful for how incredibly powerful these children's voices have been, and how, you know, unfortunately, there are a lot of violent things that had to happen for for schools to really take notice. Um, but I really believe that they have definitely taken notice now.
Yeah. Well, I had kind of the same experience back in the 90s. I was doing healing at a nursing home that my aunt used to be in. And the recreation person there liked what I was doing for some of the the residents there. And she knew somebody that was in charge of a school in Brooklyn. And she said, you know, maybe you could go there and teach some of the people there. So I said, well, I don't think I'm going to teach therapeutic touch, but I could teach meditation. I could teach that to the teachers so that they could then teach the children. So a friend and I put a program together, and we had a whole bunch of teachers there, and they loved it. And they went back to their principal. Now, this is back in the 90s, and I could not call it meditation. I called it focused relaxation, because that's basically what meditation is. Back then, he wouldn't do it. But now, as you said, things have opened up so much. Thank goodness.
They have
And
it.
we have had
Because of people like you that
we've
do
had to
this.
change our wording a little bit too.
Yes,
I call them
right.
inner journeys
Yes,
and inner
exactly.
adventures.
Yeah, we have to work with that. Well, Kathleen, you were with me at Montauk when we
Yes.
planted the
Mhm.
peace pole there, and
Mhm.
there were over 300 children that were participated in that
Right.
event.
Right.
And I loved how the principal there shared that every morning
Amazing.
they do a mindful moment.
Mhm.
So, and I love that. That's just another word for meditation. You know, a mindful moment,
Yes. Yeah.
just going into that arena of consciousness where you're just letting yourself be positive for that moment.
Exactly. Yeah, he's a wonderful. I don't know if he's still there. I think he was talking about retiring.
Yeah, I think he retired.
Yeah, I mean, for him to retire, to find somebody else like him, I hope they did, because he was amazing for those children. And
I
you
can
could
only
see how
hope
much they loved him.
I can only hope there's many of him throughout
Yes.
the
Yeah.
country and throughout the world,
Exactly.
that understand the importance of having our children focus on something like
Mhm.
that.
Mm-hmm. Well, even to be able to have the peace pole there was a big thing, I think.
Yes.
What a beautiful ceremony.
Mhm. And
And
it's
what a
there.
you know, that's such an important thing that they can really feel and know and, you know, witness how powerful their energy is. I think it's such a beautiful, beautiful expression for schools, to as many schools as possible, to get involved with that.
Right.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Right.
I have one more question for you ladies, but I want to just acknowledge our audience. Auntie Jean Lorio is here.
Hi, Auntie Jean.
Julie Kiss. And
Hi.
Julie says, thank God you ladies are in our world. You all make it a better place. Thank you so much for your words, Julie. And Auntie Jean says, children haven't gained all those illusions and obstacles yet, so they accept the truth readily. They see with clear eyes and open hearts. Thank you so much for helping them to be their true selves. I second that emotion, Jean Lorio.
Thank you.
We're coming up to where we're going to wrap this up. But what I want to know from the two of you, what have you learned from the children? What have they taught you?
They've taught me that there's a strength in every person that we don't always notice, that that the strength that I see in them, it reminds me that I have it in me too, because sometimes I can forget. You know, you can teach this and still forget yourself. And they've been a blessing to me because they remind me. They remind me that the human spirit is so strong and that we can do anything. And I do remember when I was a child reading the Bible, and I remember Jesus saying, these and greater things you shall do. That always stayed with me. And I totally believe that. And that's what I'm learning from kids, and I want kids to learn from us.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I would say that what I have learned is that everyone has gifts. And as a Bible message too, the little child will lead us. And I believe that our children are leading us back to our own hearts. And I believe that they are giving us an opportunity to really see their gifts. And that's what I learned from children, is every single person on the planet has gifts to share. And there is so much love and compassion and joy in these children that all we need to do is cultivate it, because it's just like soil. It's like turning the soil and cultivating the soil, because they have so many gifts to share. And that's what I've learned, is that everyone has gifts and everyone deserves to be heard.
Exactly.
So beautiful.
Love it.
Oh, both of you are just amazing, amazing. And I just want everybody to have more of you. So I know throughout the year, I'm going to have you both back on. We're going to, maybe we'll focus on a different age group, like maybe our teenagers.
They need, yes, they need that.
Years.
Yeah, exactly.
I would love to have further discussion about, how we can really make a difference and reach our children, no matter what age they are. But right now, I would like for you both to take some time, ever how long, and just share how people can find you and how they can maybe get involved. If there's a project or if there's something that you want people to be aware of, then please share what's going on and how people can reach out to you.
Sure. Well, you could reach me at Kathy, Kathy, at hadobear.com, HADOBEAR.com. Hado Bear is the website for the book. And my nonprofit is Source of Guidance. And that would be Kathy, Kathy, at sourceofguidance.org. And you can go on there and see the programs that we do for children and for hospitals. And if you would like to give us a donation so that we can continue to give books and bears and workshops and videos for the children, we would be so appreciative. Thank you.
You can find me at globalkindnesstv.org, and everything's pretty much right there on the website. You just go to globalkindnesstv.org. You can contact me directly through the contact button link, or the best, just reach out to me on social media. I'm on social media as Mindful Media Mom. And you can find me pretty much on Twitter or Instagram or Facebook as Mindful Media Mom.
That's great. That's
Absolutely.
good. And you can also join a private group on Facebook, Hado Bear Kids Club.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's great.
Yeah.
I will join.
Yeah. You can see all his wise words every week. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love it. I love the messages that you give out from Hado Bear. Thank you for doing that. And Karen, I believe you have an event coming up this weekend.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's right. This weekend we do. We're doing an event together, and we're bringing people home to their own hearts and that true heart, that true self. And we're inviting everyone to join us because it's going to be a magical, magical workshop for grown-ups. But it's going to be very playful because it's going to be run by Terry and myself and the angels. So it will be very playful. But it's really about just returning. I'm a Kundalini yoga instructor. I've been teaching at all different age levels for over 20 years now. And when I started teaching Kundalini yoga, it was about really understanding our inner guidance and our inner wisdom. And so this course that we're going to be doing, this workshop that we're going to be doing together, is a combination of Terry's beautiful gifts and my beautiful gifts. And we're going to bring those together so that people can truly, truly have the experience of being their true, original, innocent self, and being in the presence of everyone who you can see that in each person. Everywhere you go, you will be a reflection, and they will be. And Julie Kiss, I want to say that you are a reflection. Auntie Jean, you are a reflection of what Kathleen and I are doing. You're a reflection, and if you can see what we are sharing, that means that you are polishing your own mirror, and you can see it, and just keep polishing that mirror. And anything that comes up, that you feel you want to let go of, just polish it away, and remember that you sparkle and shine so beautiful, and we're so grateful.
That is so wonderful.
Yes. I'm sorry, I listed
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I listed the way that you all can go find that workshop, the link to it, so you can go sign up.
Sounds beautiful. Very, very quickly, that reminded me of something like what you're doing in my church a couple of years ago. I did a sermon about being a child, having that child come out. So I brought crayons and paper, and I had Disney music playing in the background, and we gave that out. We had everyone draw, and it was the same thing as we used to bring the kids in to show the things that they did. And I asked people to come up and show what they drew. And I figured, well, people are going to be shy. They don't want to do it. Everybody came up and showed what they did. They loved getting back to being that child because it's still inside of us. And like you said, to get back to that innocence. And I'm just reminding everybody, you can do that anytime. Get some crayons, get something, some paper out. You don't have to show it to anybody. You don't have to be an artist. Just draw what comes up in you, and you'll have such a beautiful day by doing that.
Absolutely. This has been so wonderful. Thank you both for sharing from your heart and for the delightful ways that you're working with our children and helping them to see their innocence. You know, sometimes our smile is the only smile that they see, depending on what's going on in their home environment or among their peers. That smile can make a big difference. Our Marietta, who's with us, one of the P's in our pod, says the smile is spirit magnifies,
Right.
incredible, loving energy. And that's what we are able to give with, doesn't cost a thing. Just give that smile and give it from your heart. And I encourage us all to do that wherever we are in the world. So thank you. Charlie is here and he's asking what time Saturday. It's on the website, Charlie. I think it's 1:11.
Yeah, I think that's what we decided.
That's right. We had thrown around a couple of times, but I think that's what we ended up putting on there. But it's on the website. When you go in, just click that link and you'll be able to see all the information for it. And I know Charlie's going to be there, and so is Erica. So we're excited to have everyone that's coming in for that. So thank you, ladies, so much. This has been a delight to be with you. And like I said, this isn't the last time you're going to see these two beautiful ladies on with me. It's going to be an amazing journey throughout this year. The angels have set it up, and it's just rolling, rolling along. So they've taught me a mantra that I like to use: stay in your heart and stay blessed. And we will see you all later. Love you so very much. Kathy,
Thank you.
Karen, I love you both dearly.
I
And
love
we
you too.
always, our shows with Namaste.
Namaste,
y'all.
y'all.
Everybody, I'll see you
Love
next
you.
time on the Peapod.